think I'm set. Let's do our casual audio check and make sure everything's sounding all good here. I am officially live. Microphone audio seems pretty legit, and we're all good. So, what the heck? That's weird. That is really weird. Why is that? Huh. Okay. Whoa. Hold on, guys. Hold on. And there it goes. Okay. Cell phone service was being weird. I'm not sure what's going on. Nothing much. Alright. So, I don't know why my character's off center of screen. I didn't even realize that was a thing, but okay. Anyways, though, we are currently inside of my mobile operations center, and today we are going to be doing an entire tour of every garage that I own, and also a tour over all of the additional vehicles that I own. So pretty much every vehicle that I own inside of this game, other than Pegasus Vehicles specifically, I'm not really going to mess with those. I will scroll through the list and kind of show you guys or tell you guys, but other than that, I'm not gonna pull them all out or anything. But my hangars, my motorcycle club, the vehicle warehouse vehicles, I will show you guys what I've done to those and what's going on with those. My vehicles inside of my bunker, inside of my facility, which we're fixing to currently look at the ones in my bunker. The nightclub, the Maze Bank Tower, the arena, and so on. So yeah, we got quite a bit to go. This is definitely going to be a long stream, and probably one of the longer streams that I've done. I'm not sure. I mean, it's been a long time since I've done a stream that's going to last over an hour, but this one will more than likely last quite a bit over an hour. So we're going to go ahead and pull up the phone. I'm just gonna show you guys the Pegasus vehicles really quick. Hopefully they'll answer even though I'm inside.
I'm sorry.
No, they're not gonna answer. Alright, so we'll just wait until we get outside. So this is the inside of my mobile operations center right now. Our first vehicle is actually a there's this incident that I had where I believe this vehicle was on the podium, not this one specifically, this was my original version, but there is another one that I own that looks a lot different than this one, and it was built specifically to look like something else. But yeah, the other one that I got was like on accident. I don't even remember. I think it was a podium vehicle at some point or something. Something happened. But with that being said, the Annis. What is this one? This one is the Annis Vestro, right? It's like a Mazda MX-3. But yeah, no, that's another thing I do want to tell you guys. So I'm gonna try not to tell you guys the real life names, and if you guys do want to know, you can ask me down in the comment section below. Just if you know the GTA name of the vehicle and you want to know what it really is, I definitely. I've kind of done a bit of studying over everything. This thing, I have it looking like the murdered out black semi truck from the Purge movies. Yeah. The big black semi trucks. Me and a group of buddies ran around in GTA pretending to be Purge people, and I originally detailed this thing to look like that. Before that, I had the 4th of July kind of set up on there, the American flag with the eagle on the side and the red cab. But I don't know if I'm going to toss everything back on there. I probably can if I wanted to. I mean, just for the heck of the mood,
No need to be gentle with this one.
we'll go ahead and change. That was the one that I originally had on there, but I mean, I could literally do the American flag one. That one's $100,000, but I mean, it's got all kinds of stuff on it, honestly. Dropping bombs. That's pretty epic. I'm not sure if I want to buy it though or not. Man, you know, that one's really confusing, because, like, you know what?
Looking good.
We'll go for it. We'll leave it black. The secondary color is that right there. I didn't really want this stream to turn into some customization thing, but yeah, we'll leave that black. I mean, I could make the cab red, but honestly, I'm just gonna leave that black also. Just give it a little flavor, some America. That's weird. Why is the top purple? So we're gonna take this thing out. I'm actually gonna go back this way. That idiot really just ran into my trailer. Just trying to make sure that my radio's off. Oh, that car's gonna have to wait. Fuck. After all of that. Man. Alright, we're not gonna waste any time. We're gonna go directly in the garage. I'm not here to show off buildings or anything. I've already got all the arcade machines that I need. Head downstairs and show you guys my little vehicle collection down here. Seems like a pretty dead stream right now. There's nobody hopping on. Hopefully some people see it later. We do have the Drift Tampa. So I've gone through all kinds of changes with this thing. I originally made it off of the Kim Block stuff. If you guys know my Instagram, my gaming page, at least you'll see some photo shoots that I did with both of these vehicles based off of the Kim Block versions. And yeah, now I've actually kind of taken them, put some base colors on there, took some muscle car tires and threw them on there. This thing, I left the stock wheels, but I tossed a nice yellow on there, just trying to be a little more custom and standard. It's got Monster on the plate, some like Monster Energy, Monster on that one as well. This is my side-by-side slash razor, whatever you want to call it. I don't have any custom plate on there. I'm not able to put any more on for some reason. But yeah, that thing's camoed out with black and red. Pretty nice looking. Thing's really, really fun. I'm actually going to take that out when we leave here. This is my just plain Jeep. The reason I did this is because there's a nice little thing you can do to knock the doors off. And then it kind of looks like an all-out open Jeep, you know, and I really love these things. Just for cruising. This is my plain Jane Lamborghini. This thing is just straight white. I haven't really done much to it. Not so sure if that's an actual color change in the center or if it's just all white. I think it's just the lighting in here, but it should be all white. Thing's really nice looking, honestly, but I do want to, I wanted to keep it pretty simple and plain. I got that thing off of the wheel. I do have another one that is placed in another garage, but this one specifically right here is just an extra, and so I figured I'd just keep it like a standard Huracan look. Then you have my G-Wagon. This is just the base style G-Wagon. I thought I'd toss some giant wheels on there, which these ones are carbon fiber actually, and then the deep dish, well, I mean, they're not really that deep, but sticking out. Yeah, I think that's pretty much it with this thing. It's just the standard beige color with the black around it and some nice stuff. Sorry if I'm yawning, I'm just a little tired. I do have an extra slot over here. I'm not sure if... Oh, I have a couple extra slots actually. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So what? 7, 8, 9. There's like 10 slots in here, isn't there? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Maybe you put one here. 9 maybe, and then 10. Oh, no, 9. Okay, and then they... Do they place one in front of here? Wow, I'm really lost. I'm so confused on that setup. Not sure, but yeah. Don't know what I was doing with my cell phone there, but... Okay, alright, so that is all of that. We're gonna go ahead and hop in this thing. Oh yeah, that's what I was gonna do with my cell phone. We're gonna call Morse Mutual, make sure we don't have anything out.
MMI, we expect the unexpected.
There we go, found out that I had a vehicle out. Oh, saving failed. Alright, super fun vehicle time. I have to put that thing away. just to make this a little more interesting. Oof. Yeah, that thing's pretty cool. So the last northern area. I'm gonna go ahead and hop on my other Instagram account and post. I'm not sure what that beeping is, but alright. We officially are in here. We're still having some sort of weird save issue. So like I said, this is a full vehicle tour, so we do in fact have the Avenger. The standard Osprey build. My crew logo. My jetpack, which I based off of Iron Man. It's an interesting fact. Of course, a Night Shark that I got for free at one point. I actually sold mine and then turned around and got this one for free, so it was a pretty good deal. My custom Arena issue, which I barely actually use. Thing's kind of annoying sometimes, not gonna lie. What is this, the Vestro? Yeah, the Vestro. Pretty crazy car. I don't really drive it too much. I think it's got like machine guns on it and stuff too, but yeah, not much of a person for that thing. Then you have this, which actually, hold on, let me get a second look at this, because I think this is like an older Ford Pantera or whatever. Yeah, I might actually go back and rebuild that. The Chernabog, which is the missile silo truck. I love how it's got like all-wheel steering. It's a very, very cool vehicle to drive around. Thing's epic. Then we have the Stromberg, I believe. Yeah, it's like an older Jaguar. This thing is an underwater vehicle. It does change and go underwater. I'm not sure if I can. I should be able to show you. Maybe I can show you in here. Oh, nope. Just customize. Not what I was looking to do.
She's looking good, but always room for improvement.
Might take me outside. If it does, then we'll just have to head back in. Nope. The Deluxo, of course. The however you say the name of this tank, the Futuristic Tank. The BF Bifta, okay, the older VW Beach Bug. And then for some reason I still have this thing, the Western Silverine, okay, the America bike. So that's all the vehicles inside of this garage, the facility actually, should I say. We're gonna go ahead and hop inside of the Avenger, since it's probably the fastest form of transportation we got in here. We're gonna take this thing out. I mean, you could do the glitch with the Deluxo or something, but honestly, I'm not all about all that. Gotta get up to a decent height. And then we're gonna start with the houses in the hills. I wish GTA worked with steering wheels and yokes. I would definitely buy an entire flight sim setup just to play GTA with it. That'd be epic. Have the full power stick to, I just realized that the right stick doesn't move with it. It's supposed to. The passenger seat area, they're supposed to also control the vehicle as well. So the house we're gonna head to first is here. Another thing, when it comes to steering in these vehicles, they use like foot pedals to do some of the other adjustments. It's really, really cool. I mean, in like airplanes, they use actual steering wheels, but in this thing, they don't use a steering. I mean, like fighter jets, they also use yokes. We're just gonna land this on top of the house. It's not that house. I wish it was that house, but it's not. I'm gonna go ahead and do a quick check and see if my microphone audio is actually quieter than my vehicle audio. No, we're good. All right. Just wanted to make sure because everything kind of seemed a little loud. So we're gonna hop down here. We're gonna head inside this garage. So this is a BMW / Porsche garage. You will see some other BMWs outside of this garage. I guess you could say it's in-game brand garage too. So Ubermacht and Pfister. You have the Neon. This is the electric car. The 811. The Comet SR. The Comet, the standard version, and then the Retro Custom. And those are all of those major cars. The Ubermacht SC1, which nobody ever really uses. The Oracle for stance. Zion Classic, also a stance build. I mean, actually, really, all these cars like stance. Ubermacht Sentinel. That's the drop top version. I actually have a hard top version somewhere else, and that's what I was talking about. I don't know why my game's not saving at all. Wow, that's kind of frustrating. A little pissy. We have the Sentinel Classic. And then, hold on, I'm gonna toss this money inside of my bank. I don't know why it keeps flashing. It needs to just go away. If it can't save, it can't save. Oh well. I mean, if it hasn't saved since I put on that vehicle livery, then I really don't care. So we're gonna take this V10 out and head off to the next garage. This thing honestly looks really cool. I don't see why a lot of people dislike it. Alright, we're gonna go ahead and check this truck garage out. What do I have here? Sorry about the yawning, guys. I'm just barely waking up for the day. This is my Baja Rebel, the Rusty Rebel. I wanted to do it with the standard version, but they did not have it. And yeah, so yes, finally. It just wouldn't want to. Okay, so yeah, Rusty Rebel, Baja build. All the things not very fast. I wish it was faster to do a lot more crazy stuff with, but it still works. Trophy truck, the Canis Camacho, aka Jeep, the G-Wagon 6x6, Dubsta, the Contender, the Ford Bronco concept, okay, the Riata, the Sand King. There's quite a few Ford vehicles in here, actually. If you haven't realized, like the trucks, quite a bit of them are Ford. Like that's based on a Ford. That's based on a mixture between a Ford and a Toyota. That's Ford. That's Ford. That's Ford. That's got a Ford logo on it, although it looks, I mean, it could be. They definitely mix the GMC build with it too. I hate that. This thing is like a Mitsubishi and a Toyota mixed together too. I based it on a Storm Chaser truck, and I think it looks pretty epic like this. Really thick tires. I love that standard tire design that they have for it. And then the back boxes and everything. It's probably one of my favorite trucks, actually. This thing's also one of my favorites. We're gonna take this thing off to the next garage. Ford Raptor, you know. Ooh, that Viper is really going for it for a second there. This thing's got some super good brakes. I have no idea what that was. It was caught on that side. Oh, that little bit right there. Dang, he did not like me. Yeah, I really love this truck though. It's pretty epic, honestly. That's why I chose to drive it too. So we're gonna go in here. You're gonna see some Japanese cars and then some other cars that aren't Japanese, but these garages were meant to be mainly Japanese. We'll have some modern Japanese cars in one garage and then some classic Japanese cars in the other garage. Yeah. So this is the modern garage. As you can see, we have the Evo 10, the the Kuruma, the R35 GTR, the Subaru / Evo, whatever you want to call it, the Eclipse, let me look at the taillights, the 370. Although I really hope that they add an unarmored version of this car at some point in its life cycle in this game. I don't want to wait until the next game, and I really hope they do it before next generation. That'd be pretty epic, because I would get rid of this thing right here in a heartbeat. Not to be hateful or anything, but I hate the armor pieces and everything. I just think it's stupid. Dinka Jester, aka the Honda NSX, or Acura NSX, the Dinka Sugoi, aka a Civic, 4-door Civic. Then we get out of the modern Japanese cars and we go to the leftovers that I couldn't fit in other garages. So the BMWs, I have two BMWs here. I have the hardtop version of the Sentinel, and then we have the SUV version. Hold on, I don't know why these TVs are on inside of my garages, but they gotta stay off. I hate that. And then this thing is a Range Rover Evoque. It's like an older Evoque. But yeah, I think I'd drive a classic Japanese car, so we're not gonna pull any of these out. Probably gonna drive the older Sultan. So the second garage in this building, the upstairs parts are very different, and I really enjoyed having two of the penthouses. Classic Japanese cars. So you have an older CRX, which is the ballistic compact, or wait, is it CRX or CRV? It's one of the two, but it's old school. A lot of people also like to call it the Toyota 11, the older Corolla, but it's front wheel drive, so definitely say that this thing is for sure the Honda variant. Of course, another front wheel drive compact little hatchback car. This is an older Civic as well. This one is like the early 90s hatchback Civic. This is the other Annis Silvestre that I have. So this one's got its own thing going on. I actually based it off of something I'd seen somewhere before, but I thought it'd be really cool. I have these stock wheels with the black on there, so it's like deep dish black. Psycho on the plate. And then so on. Yeah, it's very nice. You have the LG Retro, so I had the modern version in the other garage, and now I have the classic version in this garage. Then you have the Fairlady, the Nissan Fairlady, or the Datsun, the 190Z. Then you have the Fudo, which is another Toyota Corolla that kind of shares some looks with that thing, but this one's the smaller body. And then you have the Toyota Supra. Although it could have been done a lot better, I still appreciate what they did with this car, and I'm glad they took the time to fix some of the stuff about it too also. But yeah, Jester Classic, there you go. The Sultan Classic. Of course, an older Subaru slash Evo, just depends on your build style. I went for a Subaru look. Then you have another Sultan, the standard Sultan. So I have the RS, the standard Sultan, and then the Classic. And then this thing is also another vehicle that doesn't necessarily fit in, but it's here. My Jeep, my big off-road version of the Jeep. Which I really do enjoy. So I'm trying to decide between these two. I drove that one the other day. That thing's actually pretty quick and crazy, but I think it still gets beat by the LG Retro, which kind of sucks. Because naturally, in real life, the Supra would destroy the GTR, but So on to the next garage. We're gonna go ahead and head down here. And then from there we'll do a lot more. Hey, twin cars. Cool. You hear that turbo with the blow-off valve. Although they didn't really add the proper blow-off valve sound. Oof, almost died. I believe this garage is highly based on Fords, and not sure if I actually have my Ford, the FMJ in here. I should have the FMJ in here. I should. I think there's only like a couple Fords that aren't in this garage. No, actually, it's not completely Ford. I was wrong about that. I do have some spare cars in here, but how's it going, Red Maniac? Welcome to the stream. We have the 2015 Mustang body style. Of course, the hello. Yeah, 2015 Ford Mustang body style, which is the Dominator GTX. You have the Dominator. We have the Ford Focus. I believe this is like the 2016 body style, or it's what it's supposed to be. And of course, this is like the rally build. So I tried to make it as clean as possible. Another car that I'd really hoped that they would eventually maybe come up with a slim design for, and I'd get rid of this thing also. Then we do have the Retinue, which is a Ford Escort, and then they also have the Retinue 2, which I haven't really bought. Just thinking, like, you know, it kind of looks like a Silvestre, and there's some other stuff going on. I don't know, it's questionable. I kind of want to buy it, but I don't really want to buy it. But yeah, we'll figure that out. So Dominator. the FMJ, which is the 2017 Ford GT, then the 2005 Ford GT. Of course, both of those next to each other. Then that's all of the Ford vehicles I have in here. Then my Cuban build, I just kind of pictured being in Cuba with this car, so I went for what you'd probably see there. The Verlier, which is a TVR Cigaris. I love the deep dish stock wheels on here, so I left those. Now with that gorgeous green. This thing, which I barely use anymore and really don't care too much for. It's just a form of transportation for me. And then my older VW bus. I love this bus. This thing's pretty epic. I have a whole outfit and everything that goes with that thing. So I think we're gonna take out my Mustang. Man, so we've covered quite a bit so far. We've actually done 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 of my properties, 7 of my properties actually, because there's 2 houses there. Then 8, and we're heading off to the airport. We're gonna go all the way down to the hangar, and then we'll go back up and go through these. And then we'll go to the facility, or not the arena workshop, and then I might actually skip the Maze Bank. I think what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna head all the way over here after, and then head up to the casino, and then my motorcycle club, and then I'll finish off at Maze Bank because I do have some very well set up stuff going on there. I love the sound that they did for this car. It's so mean, so aggressive. Oof. I want to talk about it. I'm driving a Mustang. Oh. I feel like they turned off traction control on me. That brake was not helping at all. And there you go. I feel like they did that on purpose. Like, this car is really hard to stop from a drift. Like, I feel like they just, like, immediately... I mean, that's the thing with real Mustangs. You turn off traction control, you've got to, like, do it just specifically right, or the Mustang is slippery. At least I finished off decently. So now we're in the hangar. We do have the Blue Angels Vestra and the Thunderbirds Vestra. Then we have the All Aboard. I believe this is the Tula. Yeah, the Tula. It's the one that goes in the water and does all of that. Then you have the Rogue the, not sure what this one's called. It's like an older bomber. The MiG 15, MiG 16, somewhere around there. MiG, yeah, MiG. It's a Russian jet, one of the original Cold War jets. The P-51 Mustang mixed with some other stuff in there, you know. The Nakota. Decided to go for all that. The A-10 Warthog / B-11 Strike Force in the game, which I did the Warthog looking face on there. I do really enjoy this aircraft. It's very, very cool. Then my gray Hydra. Although those aren't all the vehicles though. We're actually gonna swap some stuff. So storage. Don't know why this exists, but apparently I have another one that's darker. Probably should get rid of that. Now, then there's this thing. Also have this thing. I got my own personal Titan. I do want to kind of black it out though. I don't know. Old cargo bub. Yeah, that's pretty much. That's everything within here. So I'm gonna go ahead and place everything back. I also do have a Vestro, which is the little personal aircraft right there. But we're gonna go ahead and bring all of these other vehicles back out really quick. Mogul, that's what that thing is called. Yep. And that's all of my airplanes. I will. Just for the heck of it, I'll take this thing out. You see the VTOL freaking Hydra 24/7, so. I really love flying planes. Flying is like something I'm super interested in. So we're actually gonna go through all of my nightclub stuff first, and then we'll head into the garage next door. I'm actually gonna It's a very cool aircraft. I really do enjoy my aircraft on this game. I don't only drive and stuff. I'm a pilot as well, and I I tend to not really do much with my airplanes. I mean, like when I get on here, if I'm not driving, I'm flying, but I don't really go out too much with them. Like I don't hang out with any other pilots. Starting off with just my, of course, my nightclub setup, I'd probably have somebody drive me around in this thing more than I drive it myself. I actually did have a friend who played my chauffeur one time, and I was a rich club owner. But yeah, this is my Revolter, which is like a Cadillac mixed with a BMW. Then we have basement level 1, which these vehicles are the what do you call them? They're like the nightclub vehicles, the 3 trucks, which I kind of wish I would have never wasted the money on these. These are kind of a waste of time, not gonna lie to you. They look cool, but they're really useless. They're easy to destroy, and yeah, not really too much fun. But yeah, there's my custom truck. It's got the machine gun on top. I think it's also got like a grenade launcher somewhere around here, or it drops mines or something like that. But yeah, I mean, it's cool, but it's just not perfect. This thing, the box truck, the weird little side step. This thing I think looks really cool, it's just not as fun to actually drive. I think those are missile launchers on top. There, okay, you can't go behind that. But yeah, there's that garage. And then, for the heck of it, just to get it out of the way, we will go into the Terabyte Garage and show you guys my Terabyte, which I think this truck looks really cool. Like I said, some of these vehicles are fun just to have, just to drive around. But, like, because of what they're based on. But, other than that, they're not really too much of a use. Hello. Has a little drone. Then the Mark II oppressor. Which I barely use. Also another vehicle that I'm not perfectly happy with. I tend to not like those vehicles, the oppressors and the Deluxo and stuff. I mean, like, what the Deluxo is based on is really, really cool. The oppressors I'm not too keen on. I think that they are kind of a buzzkill in a way. Like, they kind of ruin the game for me. When it comes to meeting new players and stuff, it's so hard because everybody's too busy killing each other. Wrong garage. Level 2, here we go. So, front half, actually, most of this garage is, Rolls-Royce slash Bentley. I mean, you can say, all of these could be a form of, I don't know, yeah. Like, for example, this is the Rolls-Royce Phantom. This is a silver, I believe this is a Silver Shadow too. Then you have the Dawn drop top, and then the Dawn hard top. And then you have a Bentley Continental Sport. We're gonna go back to those. Then, I mean, these could be taken as forms of Bentleys, or I think there's even a Rolls-Royce out there that actually looks like this. I'm not sure exactly which one it is, but yeah. Very cool cars. Both of those are the same thing, just one's drop top and the other one's hard top. The tail ends are actually very different though. Um, I mean, they're not too different, but like the way the shape curves in on the sportier drop top version is way different. But then you have a Tesla, and then another Tesla, aka the Roadster. Shit, I can't not yawn. I'm sorry. Then you have one of the most badass cars in here, my favorite, the All-American Cadillac. I was so happy when they added this thing in here. CTSV is probably one of my all-time favorite American family cars, dude. It's like the best thing ever. It's past all those fancy cars, because, yeah, nightclub owners would probably own those. On to the next garage. Most of these cars are all really fancy and really, really nice, but, we have the Jaguar slash Mercedes garage. So you have the, and then once again, if you guys don't know what these are, I can tell you what every one of these are in the comments below. So feel free to ask at any point, and it'll definitely pop up in my notifications. X821, the Penetrator, the Lynx, which is one of my favorites, the F620, which is underrated, very amazing car. Stinger, not enough good looking stuff for this vehicle. I will come back to those. The Schlagen GT, the Schafter V12, the Schwarzer, the Serrano, and the Sterling GT. And that's all of these cars. That Sterling GT has one of the best sounds in this garage. Honestly, there's 4 cars in here that have an extremely unique sound. I mean, these two share the same sound, and they're kind of based on the same thing. One's a 2-door variant. But, this car's sound is extremely unique. The Lynx sound is extremely unique. The X821 sound is really unique. And then these two cars share the same sound, which is very, very interesting. They all have very nice, growly, different sounds to them. They're all specifically different. It's crazy. On to the last garage. This one is my Lamborghini garage. You will see as soon as we get in there. There's one vehicle that's not a Lamborghini, and I'll explain it. And it'll be one of the vehicles that you already know. And I mean, if you know the Lamborghinis in real life, you'll realize that I've actually kind of, for the most part, I will point out the ones that I didn't base off of the real life versions. I may actually call out some real names here, so sorry. This thing is also based, its color scheme and everything is based off of the real life version. I think this is pretty much how it is stock in the game. I don't know if the matte, I think I'd glitch that in. It's like a matte black with a gray pearlescent or something on there. I might have done that. But yeah, that's the Tesseract. Then the Tempesta, which this is my customized version of the stock one that you guys seen earlier. This one's more like a show car or a performance car, really. Yeah, it's crazy. Then this one. This is actually mainly based off of the Sesto Elemento, the 6th element, meaning carbon, which the entire car in real life is built out of carbon. And yeah, those little holes, kind of a dead giveaway for all of that, and all of the carbon parts that they automatically threw on the vehicle. But yeah, and then the colors, I actually didn't base it off of the real thing. Like, the real thing is like a dark gray, almost a black, really, with a orangish, reddish uh, color for all of these little bits that are yellowish. And the reason I did this light orange / yellow color is because of the Lamborghini Centenario. If you've heard of the Centenario, I thought I would kind of give, since the game doesn't have one in here, and if they really add one, I'd be really, really pleased if they did something close to it in game. I would definitely change this back to the Sesto Elemento build and then do the Centenario like it was meant to be. But yeah, this is like a kind of tribute to that car with another car. Then there's the Infernus, which has another car that's pretty obvious built into the back of it. And if you don't know what that car is, I can tell you what that taillight design and the exhaust design came from. Then you have the Evoque, which is also another underrated car. A lot of people don't. I'm gonna go ahead and say it. It's a mix between a Lamborghini Gallardo, which the front really just a dead giveaway, and the overall body shape. But then the little side vents right here, the curvature of those, and the actual back bit right here, if you believe it or not, as well as the taillight kind of build, that all comes from a McLaren MP412C. But I mean, Lamborghinis also have this little cover back here too, so it kind of fit the layout of a McLaren a little bit more. This thing is a Gallardo, which, you know, I'm over here pointing out things. If you don't already know what this is a Lamborghini SUV, the Urus. This is called the Tauros in the game, and I based it off of the real life version of the vehicle. If I could paint the calipers, then I would do those yellow as well, because that's how Lamborghini does it. The Infernus Classic. The Torero, which I really love, and I love both of what those are both based off of real life variants, if you couldn't already tell by the colors. This one as well, the Monroe, another beautiful Lamborghini car. This one is not a Lamborghini. This was the one car I was talking about. So this car right here specifically is it's called the Zeruso, but in real life it is. And if it doesn't already kind of show it in the name, like starting with the Z, Z. Zeruso is the Ital design 01. If it doesn't kind of already sound like it's Zeruso 01, you know, the way you say it. Yeah, the Ital design 01, just it's another Italian supercar, and it also has some design cues from if you've ever heard of it, it's called the Vader. The front little lip right there kind of reminds me of that, but yeah, it's a pretty epic car. We're gonna go ahead and I'm just gonna take something outside. I'm probably gonna drive something else from the other garage anyways. I just wanted to pull out a car really quick. This thing's doors are epic. I mean, that thing looks so much like a Lamborghini Countach. It's amazing. It's beautiful. To have that thing in the game is really a pleasure. Like, Rockstar can do a lot of good stuff with vehicles and a lot of bad stuff, and they do miss out on a lot, and I know they can't fit everything, but I do have respect for their stuff, even though they're stupidly expensive. I hate how expensive it is. But, yeah. Welcome to my race car garage. Except for a few vehicles, once again, most of my garages have their little kinks, little things that I can't really fix completely. But, my race car garage, so you have this thing, straight race car. You have this thing, this is the Annis ETR, or Emperor ETR1, the Annis RE7B, The NSS 80RR, which is pretty epic. Oh man, who loves NASCAR? There you go, Hot Ring Saber. The 2 Formula 1 cars, which came out a while back, but they were probably the last things that came out actually. The R88, which is pretty epic, and then the Progen PR4, which I really don't know what to tell you when it comes to which one's better. I think that the PR4 looks better, but the R88 is pretty fun to drive, though, I'm not gonna lie. Then another race car, the Autarch. Pretty epic vehicle. It's really, really cool. The Novak, which I think is a dope SUV. It's really cool too, stance. I mean, I may not necessarily keep this thing forever, especially if any other influences come in, you know, like if they update the game and I don't have enough space for whatever is coming in an update, this is definitely something I would get rid of. I do enjoy the vehicle as a whole, but you know, there's always better things that come out. These things, though, for some reason, I mean, this thing specifically, I keep coming back to this car. I mean, Franklin's car is just, you know, I mean, just the Dodge, dude. You gotta have this Dodge somewhere. You know, when I've run out of storage for some nicer, newer cars, I've had to get rid of it a few times, but coming back to it, it's pretty epic. To get to actually fit this back in my garage, and to have the space for it right now is really nice, because I love to put it with this thing. 2 Dodge Brothers, the Challenger and the Charger, just these things together. America on the plate right there, you already know it's crazy. This is the Dodge Demon, and this is the Charger Hellcat, or the RT, yeah. Well, actually, yeah, it is a Hellcat with the whole supercharger scoop on there. But yeah, that thing's pretty epic, and so is that thing. But I think we're gonna go ahead and just be a whole pain. We're gonna hop in here. Just for the heck of it. So I believe our next stop from here is the arena. Yeah, that thing's really fun to drive. Now on into the arena. I think I have some BS cars in here, and then from there it's, I don't know. Yeah, it is what it is. These vehicles are some stuff that I rarely really come in here and mess with, but I do enjoy them. I do have several Corvette builds I will get to, but I'm going to start with this monster truck. So this thing, I named it like El Loco or something like that. I don't know. But yeah, it's Apocalypse Sasquatch. You have the El Camino, the Chevelle Picador, the Ford T-Bird, Vapid Peyote, Tornado Custom, one of my favorite cars in the entire game, low and slow on the plate there. The Costco, I really love the sound of that vehicle as well. This thing is just, there's so much that you can do with this. I really do like the car. Then my Corvette builds. These are the final group in this garage. The classic later 50s Corvette. Black fin. That thing, I love that thing. You have the C2 and the C3 Corvette mixed together. You'd see more of, I mean, it looks more like the C3 right now, but like when you put the hard top on and everything, it starts to give off a very C2 like vibe. It's got the split window in the back and everything like that, so I don't know, I just mainly say it's a C3 Corvette. Then you have the modern Corvette, which I had to go with the rapid blue look on there. I think this thing's beautiful. And it's also another underrated car in the game, just to say. I mean, I truly do believe it. Like, there's a lot of cars that people don't own because they think that they're too cheap or too basic, but honestly, that car's a really good sports car in the game. Then we get into some oldies here. This is like the hot rod garage. We do have the Roosevelt, which is just a classic Cadillac. We have the older Ford hot rod. Another older Ford hot rod. Another older Ford pickup truck that actually has a lot of Chevy and, yeah, just a lot of Chevy inspiration actually for a Ford. And then you have the older GMC slash Chevy, so like it's like the older Silverado slash Sierra, or I mean, like, it could be like, you could say this is like an older C10. I mean, really, it does look like a drop C10. It's just got the different body style on there. But yeah. Then this thing is just a monster of a hot rod. Also another thrown away car. This thing, who could ever forget the Shelby Cobra? Try to base it off of a real life version. I think it looks really cool. The hot rod version of the Cadillac, really, really badass. And then the rat truck, an older rat rod Dodge pickup. That is my hot rod garage. I do enjoy all of those vehicles. And when I do say hot rod, I mean, you know, like, they're all muscly, they're all based on muscle vehicles. The classic Cadillac is more like a mob vehicle, but yeah. I do have muscle cars. I have like a full garage of actual hot rod muscle cars and stuff that, you know, you guys will get to see later. Something else I will get rid of at some point for many, many reasons, although it's used pretty often for a lot of stuff. I do like the plate style. Very European. Yeah, there's that. These are all stance builds, by the way. These are all pre-made builds for stancing specifically. This thing right here is a prime example. It's a show car. This thing, the Cheburek, the little Russian box, also another just straight stance build. The older Mercedes. I actually had a family member who owned a real life Mercedes that looked exactly like this, and I made it after their car. It was pretty clean. Then the Fiat / Jaguar 500, a little bit of wide body carbon on there, and then that beautiful, like, just beautiful color. Got that color from Hella Flush too, by the way. If you guys know who he is. Then to go with that thing's even smaller than that thing is, this car. I actually do stance this. I have taken it to shows and it has done some pretty well stuff. Like, it has been reviewed as pretty well. It's just a standard clean build. My Mini, another classic Mini, another color I got from another crew member, design I really like. Just because I had to own the Michelin GT, eventually got it. It's not a bad car. It's not perfect either. It's overhyped. I think that one's overrated, and a lot of people talk a lot about it, but this thing is really worth buying. This is like the most perfect example of what you can do to a Volvo in real life, and like what people really do to them. This is insane. I mean, they build drift builds. There's just Stance Wars builds, and it's beautiful. It's honestly a gorgeous car, and that's a custom color. Also, if you haven't noticed, a lot of the colors I put on my cars in this game are custom. I do have my own color crew, so the color from that Abarth over there, that thing, that color is custom. I'm trying to think of what else is custom. Just that one, I think. But in the other garages also had some other custom vehicles. So this is the last level in this whole structure. So we're gonna go ahead and head on to the next garage. We will drive the Michelin GT, since I never use it anyways. Does sound very cool. Do like that sound. Alright, so the next garage we're gonna head to is actually we're gonna skip past all that. This one is more just showing you the vehicles you already know exist for it. Okay, so the startup for this vehicle sounds good. The standard driving doesn't sound that amazing. Sounds like they put a garbage exhaust on this thing, honestly. Seems like it could sound a lot better than that. So I'm telling you guys, I am a driver, like, for those of you who probably doubted it when I was driving that Mustang earlier. I like how there's a flat nose semi-truck. Like an older Peterbilt. We've been doing this stream for a little while now. Wow. It's literally just these vehicles down here and then on to the next spot. We're actually really close to the end here. The water four-wheeler, Ruiner 2000 kit car, the floating machine gun, pretty much, the Rusty Rebel, this thing with the giant machine gun on top. It's like a zombie apocalypse truck. I think it's very cool. It looks like it actually has windows in the back. Oh no, what? Hold on. I guess it just has light back there. Must be a bit of a glitch or something that they just didn't really focus on. The ramp car, Wastelander, which is probably one of my favorite vehicles. The Rocket Voltic. Thing's just literally a meme to the Tesla that was launched in space, you know, the spaceman thing. And the Phantom Wedge, which honestly I really don't mess with too much. Just for the heck of it, we'll take this thing out. I don't ever drive this. Probably driven this vehicle like once. Mainly because I think it blows up with one shot, so it's... Very cool though, I'm not gonna lie, like they did a really good job on the design of this thing for the most part. Next garage. Yeah, I think something else. Before we go in here, actually, while we got a special vehicle out, kind of want to show you guys the Pegasus vehicles that I own.
Hello, Pegasus Lifestyle Management. How can I help you?
So, weaponized, we have the Insurgent pickup, the Technical, the Turreted limo. Military, the Rhino tank, the Barracks, and the Crusader. Helicopters, we have Frogger, Maverick, Cargo Bob, Buzzard, Swift, Swift Bravo, Valkyrie, Savage, Swift Deluxe, which is a golden version, which was a waste. Super Velito Carbon, Volatus, Cargo Bob, Jet Sam, and that's all of them. Then airplanes, the Shamal, the Millard, Cuban 800, the Duster, which I really love, the Mamatis, which is just a standard plane, Titan, Vestro, Bessera, Miljet is okay, Dodo, really love that plane, Hydra, use it all the time, Vellum 5-seater, it's a decent plane, Luxor Deluxe, which is just another golden waste of money. Imagine I spent $10 million on that thing, Jesus. Nimbus, and that's all of those. Then boats, Tugboat, Toro, Dinghy, Speeder, Suntrap, Tropic, Squallow, Jetmax, and Marcus. Monster trucks, of course, you've got Liberator, the Marshall America, Australia, Brazil, Spain, Canada, France, Germany, Japan, Scotland, Great Britain, Italy, Switzerland, Jamaica, Colombia, Norway, Sweden, Belgium, Mexico, Austria, Russia, Argentina, Turkey, Ireland, Wales, England, and that's all of those. Trucks, we have the Brickade and the Boxville, which that's the Boxville right in front of us, but the crazier version. Airport bus, dash hound, shuttle bus, or the rental shuttle bus, the stretch, and prison bus. So that's a limo, that's prison bus, it's a regular bus, that's a dash hound, which is a fancier bus. Airport bus is like the little yellow, Actually, no, yeah, it's the airport bus is the yellow and white one, and then or yellow and green one or whatever, and then the rental shuttle bus is a shorter uh, yellow one. Services dump truck, which is a gigantic yellow truck. The Dune Globe Oil and the Dune Globe or Dune Fukaru Rally. The Karen or Kraken, whatever. uh, which I think there's two actual submarines, but you use one of them in the story mode, and then this Kraken one's different. Blimp, of course, and special vehicles, the festival bus, and that is all of.
Goodbye.
That's all of those. But I do enjoy the blimp and the festival bus, and yeah, there's quite a bit. I don't really use the Insurgent pickup or the I don't own an Insurgent anymore, but pickup is actually kind of a good idea to play around with sometime, just to have fun with. This garage here is very mixed. Another hot rod. This is a custom purple color. This is the Hermes. A very, very nice car. I think it's actually based off of the... Well, part of it is based off of the Hudson Hornet. And then like an older Mercury, I think, is what another bit of it's based on. The Mercedes Project 1, aka the Krieger. The Spiker C8 Aileron, aka the Vicer Neo, which is new company Vicer. Love to see more of those cars in the game. All of my Audis, so you have the what looks like an older A6, and then the RS5, and then the R8. All three custom colors. Well, actually, no, I think the yellow is not, but the green and this color are all custom. This is a custom purple color with an extra shine bit on there. It's actually got a special coating on there. I'm not sure how to explain it. Then you have the Asbo, which is another stance car. As you can see, it's got the cambered wheels and it's dropped to the floor. Thing, it says TLG on it. It's just a I want to say this is like, I'm not sure exactly. It's a European wannabe Volkswagen Golf, pretty much. This thing has inspiration from the Vader, another vehicle that I was talking about earlier, and then it's mainly based off of the Lykan Hypersport. Which is literally, I remember when this vehicle came out, everybody thought, like, I was playing on like PS3 I think at the time, and everybody had truly believed that this car was the Lamborghini Huracan for the longest time. And I mean, there are some things in there that kind of give off Lamborghini hints, and plus they named it Pegasus, but no, it's definitely for sure the Lykan Hypersport. Although it's not as thick or curvy. But, yeah, no. This thing, the Alfa Romeo Giulia Quadrifoglio, the Lamborghini Komoda. A very, very cool four-door sport sedan. Pretty crazy car. We'll see what we want to take out here. I've kind of taken out a bunch of sportier stuff. I think I want to take out something a little more slow and classic. So we're gonna drive this thing. Cool thing about this vehicle is it's actually on bags. So when it stops, it actually lowers. You'll even be able to see my character lower once we This guy's not turning. Okay. It's annoying. It's actually not very slow, but we're actually gonna head to my motorcycle club and then on to the final buildings. Or, well, actually the final building, the Mace Bank Tower. Oof. So these things, I don't, if there was more space, I would own more motorcycles in the game. Yeah, these were the bikes I chose to actually keep. Some of them are basic and some of them are pretty unique, but one half was supposed to be sports and the other half was supposed to be more classic motorcycles. We do have the Carbon RS. I mean, it literally looks different from other bikes, so it was a must, even though it sounds similar and forms similar to some other bikes. You know, so the Carbon RS, the Double T, the Body 801, which I'm not sure what that one's supposed to be based on, but yeah. Then this thing is a Ducati, of course. And then this thing is like a Hayabusa. I don't have the drag variant. Really don't care too much for it. I like the standard version of the bike. Then you have the Tron bike because it's a must, and then another sports bike, which, like I said, if I had more space, I'd do better with the organization and the stuff. If I could own more than one club, I would, honestly, not gonna lie. I just have multiple locations for the same thing. There's the crew logo on there, which I really do like that sports bike. Of course, the Halloween bike, although the eyes do glow green when I turn it on. I actually like to keep the lights off, though. I like that look. The only reason I didn't do the standard look for it, like the chrome with the chrome wheels and the red eyes and all of that, yeah, I just, it was overdone and it was too popular, so I did something different. Or the black, or whatever the heck you want to call it. This thing's a pretty awesome bike. I really do like the Nightblade, or whatever the heck it's called. Yeah, Nightblade. This is the standard bagger, but with a more classic motorcycle build. Which looks like it actually has a lot of inspiration from Indian. Yeah, and then this gorgeous monster is the Bobber, the zombie Bobber. But just for the heck of it, I do have a whole outfit that I put on when I ride. I think I'll take the Carbon RS because nobody really uses it too much. I mean, literally everything I own is all for show. Like, everything's for show. The two duplicate cars that I have, those aren't necessarily meant to exist. You know, and for space reasons, eventually I may have to find a way to get rid of them. But, what the heck? But, yeah, no, I still, everything I have does just a show vehicle. So then we go into the final garages. I will actually start with the muscle car garage because I feel like the final two garages are the most high end and fancy, and I kind of want to finish off with that vibe, that feel. So with that being said, I feel like those last two garages are the top of the line. But yeah, Tampa, an older Dodge Dart Demon, is the original Demon that existed. Then the Challenger became the top muscle car, and the Dart kind of faded away into a sports car. But yeah, so the Demon, the original one. Then this is an older Ford, which I just, yeah, I went with like a clean lowrider build, dropped, topless and everything. An older gasser, of course, you have to have your gassers. I don't have the peyote gasser, for many reasons. The car was just not perfect enough. I mean, if people really do suggest that I own it, I will buy it, and I will actually put it somewhere. I might even replace the vehicle to put it. Then you have the Sabre Turbo Custom. This one is a lowrider. I do have all the crazy stuff on there. And then you have the Virgo, which another thing, I don't have the other Virgo, the Virgo Classic or whatever. I actually owned it for a while, and I even did like the lowrider build on it and everything. And then I had to get rid of it because I just didn't have the space inside of this garage, and I really wanted it in here with this one. And I moved it to another garage and then sold it after a while just for extra cash to buy newer sport cars. But yeah, we do have the standard Virgo, though. I really do enjoy this car. I think it looks very cool. It reminds me of an older Cadillac, Luke DeVille. It's a very gorgeous car. Of course, the older Impala with the hot pink. This is a custom pink with a hot pink pearlescent on top of it. Low and slow. Got the white walls. I think this thing is one of my favorite lowriders in the entire game, and it's very low and slow, so enjoyable. First level of muscle cars done. The Lincoln Continental, or well, not Lincoln, but Buick. It's also got some of the Ford. I can't think of the name right now, but there's a Ford that is also shares a lot with this. Grand something. I don't know why I can't think of it. Grand National? Is it a Grand National? A Ford Grand National or something like that? I'm not exactly sure. I think it might be, or I don't know. But yeah, mainly a Buick, though. Buick Continental. Then of course another Cadillac. This thing is just all blacked out. I actually do have green headlights. I was going for a, if you've ever seen the movie Green Hornet, I was going for like a very low-key vibe like that. But yeah, this thing is pretty epic. It's a dope-ass car. Then another Impala, which is very gorgeous. This one's a newer, because like that was the older 50s model. This is like the 70s model of the muscle car. Yeah, it's pretty epic. The AMC Javelin / the Deviant, I believe is what it's called. This thing was meant to be like a older, like the build I went for was, instead of like a lifted up monster, I went for a older resto rod, kind of resto mod, like, like the older, but the newer style of building, like lowered muscle cars, pretty much wide body kits and everything. That's what I was going for. Of course, an older Duke, so it's like a Pontiac GTO mixed with a 1969, 1970 Charger. And then we have the Chevy Nova, which I just did a standard green on. based on one that I actually seen in real life. Then the Chevelle Ss, another look that I just kind of took from real life and tossed it on the car. Very gorgeous. I have muscle on a lot of the plates. Quite a few of my plates actually have custom stuff on it. So for like all the Lamborghinis, they all say Lambo, or Bugatti has Bugatti, Ferrari has Ferrari. Most of my muscle cars have muscle. This is 1970 Challenger. It's the Gauntlet Classic. The Pontiac Firebird / the Phoenix in the game. This is also a custom color. Both of those are custom. The Nightshade, which is, so they have the Nightblade, Nightshade, Nightshark. It's crazy, like they put night in a lot of names. Yeah, this thing's a Pontiac and a Camaro kind of thrown together. This is a 69 Camaro. That's why kind of all three of these are together. Like, it's like all Camaro bodies at one point in time, but you know, these two take on the name Pontiac as well. And then this car is the 69 Camaro, which kind of left behind Pontiac actually. But yeah, that's the Vigoro. This is an Oldsmobile. It's a Stallion. Then the Imperator, which this thing is the most expensive muscle car in the game. It is over $2 million, to be specific, just to be an ass about this. Where do we go? Marina War. So you have to buy this version of it. 1.7 million, but if you buy it now, it's 2.2 million. So over $2 million is what I paid for it. But yeah, so spent that much on it just to make it look like a normal car. Kind of a pain in the butt. The Vapid Ellie. Some people don't like this olive green color, and other people do. I mean, I literally took this from a real life 1967 Mustang. So yeah, there's that. That's all my muscle cars. Yeah, it's wild to actually come through all these garages like this and do this after a while of playing. I think this is the garage. I definitely want to show you guys my hypercars last, like the garage that has the main collection of hypercars. So hopefully this isn't it. Okay, no, this one doesn't have all of them. Although it does have a few hypercars in here that you'll recognize. So these are all Mclaren on the first floor. I did organize these based off of real life companies, so Progen. You have the custom version, which has the different exhaust exits, and the tail lights are also different. It's got the little cutouts. This is the stock version, so you can see the difference there, and they say McLaren on them. That one's also got a wide body kit on it. It's like bolted on. This one doesn't. It's just smooth. Then also those are custom colors too. Then you have the Longtail F1 race car, also based off of the real life McLaren F1 Longtail race car. The whole livery and everything is almost spot on. Like, they really did a great job with this. Some of the colors aren't perfect, but for the most part, it's almost spot on. It's epic. The standard F1, which is the GP1 in the game, does have a working spoiler, as well as the first car to ever have a working spoiler in the game, the P1/T20, which I think is an epic ass car. Still to this day one of my favorites. It was the fastest car on PS3. Still to this day, you know, it still reigns as king on last generation of consoles. And yeah, I really enjoy that. Then you have the McLaren Sinha, which they really made fun of the standard height in real life, because the suspension, which you can raise and lower the suspension in real life, and the stock height is pretty high up because of how low the actual splitters and everything are. But yeah, they did a pretty good job on this car, though. It looks pretty decent. I'm not gonna lie. I really like the way this car came out. I mean, there's a few things they could have done better. They really almost damn near stole that directly from the Sinha. But it looks really, really great. I love the little, how they did the windows and the side door and everything. They really took a lot of the inspiration and tossed it in that car. With that being all of the McLarens, we do go up here and we have Aston Martin, and there's one more Aston Martin right above me that I will show you after I get around through all of this. This is a DB5, the DBS V8, the Vantage, the Vanquish, the DB10 widebody, the standard DB10, which it's called the Spectre. So if you've ever seen the movie James Bond 007 Spectre, the DB10 was featured in that movie, and it actually didn't exist as a real-life car for purchase until after that movie. So yeah, that was like the premiere of the DB10, and yeah, it's an actual amazing car. Then you have the Aston Martin 177, because 177 were made. They actually named it the 770. And if you flip that around with the 07 and then the word 7, the 0 meaning an O for 1, Rockstar really threw that one in there. They were really going for it. They did have some Ferrari inspiration in the front end of it as well, though, to throw it off. Then the final and latest of the McLarens, or not McLarens, but Aston Martins here. This concept car that I believe is supposed to be releasing sometime this year or next year, the Aston Martin Valkyrie, which I kind of stuck with the original, like when they originally unveiled the vehicle and they showed it off in this exact like color scheme. It was a neon highlighter kind of color around it, and then they used the silver, like a dark charcoaly silver with the colored interior like that. Then we go off into the last of this floor, the last actual company of cars. These are all Bugattis. This is a Type 57 Bugatti, aka the Truffade Z-Type in game. The Adder, the original supercar. The Bugatti Veyron, of course, and this one's based on the Hellbug. If you guys go on Google and search up the Hellbug and Hellbee, these are real-life variants of these cars. They were two special edition made ones. And both of them are actually owned by the same person in real life. He's got them in a collection in California. But pretty interesting stuff to know about these things. Red and black, with the black wheels. I also got as close to the real-life wheels as I could on both of these. This is the Bugatti Chiron Hell B edition. It does have yellow wheels in real life to match the paint job, along with the interior that's also pretty accurate. But a very decent car. I have Bugatti on the plates as well. So for the Chiron, there is a race car version. It is called the Bugatti Chiron Vision Gran Turismo, and it's pretty much just the race car edition, the track edition. It does have some differences in the body. First noticeable one is the spoiler. for downforce, of course. And then a lot of additional parts on the side, so you have your little side skirt with the little fairing pieces. And then you have canards on the front. And then the front splitter. Just, you know, wild. I think it has a diffuser on it too. Yeah, it's got a little diffuser down there. It's not too crazy. And then I left the stock wheels on there kind of to go with the build. And then to finish off this garage, we have what they initially based off of the Bugatti Divo. They also mixed in some elements from another Bugatti car. If you've ever heard of it, it's called the Lavatoire Noir, which is like it's like the black car, pretty much is what they really mean when they call it that. But it's a special edition Bugatti, and this one has kind of both mixed in there together. Really epic. So with this garage being finished, we're gonna go on to the final garage and show you guys kind of my top of the line collection, at least what I believe is the cherry on top of the entire pie, you know, or that garage before was like the whipped cream, you know, and then you put the cherry on top with this final garage. I own a lot of stuff in this game, and I appreciate everything that I've been able to do in this game. And you know, I've spent since 2013 playing this game. Started on 2013 on this specific account. Played on PS3, worked my way up, and then right at the end of 2014, the Christmas of 2014, I got my PS4, and have been grinding ever since on this game. And this is what it gets you from 2013 to 2020. Continuous grinding and doing pretty much the hardest shit ever, over and over again on repeat, just to buy everything. So we got Ferrari here. The first two levels are actually completely full of Ferrari cars. So yeah, and then the final level's a bunch of mixed hypercars, which I think you guys will really like. So we have the Italia GTO, which is like a Ferrari F12/812 Superfast. I think it's really more off of the 812 because of the double tail lights, which this car is extremely fast in the game, so it makes sense for it to be the 812. And then we have the Grotty Turismo R, which is actually very highly inspired based off of the Ferrari LaFerrari, as you can tell by the mirrors and kind of the overall general body shape. But there was also another concept car that actually inspired the tail end of this vehicle specifically. But yeah, it looks pretty epic. Very cool car. It's also another underrated car. A lot of people throw this one away pretty often. The Cheetah. I mean, this thing's got the what is it called? The oh man, why can't I think of it? GTA Spano. There you go. GTA Spano tail end. With the front end of very highly inspired by the Ferrari Enzo. And this is also a Ferrari Enzo color on the vehicle. It's called Emerald Green. I imported this into the game using Rockstar editor, or not the editor, but the crew color tool, pretty much. A very gorgeous color. I really do enjoy it, and it'll probably stay like that forever. The X80 Proto, based off of the F80 concept car, a Ferrari. Another concept. They have quite a few of those in the game, so you'll notice quite a bit. This is another concept car. A lot of people think that it was highly inspired by McLaren. Tail end definitely was. But the crazy thing is in real life, it really does look a lot like a McLaren as well. But yeah, this thing is the Ferrari Xzeri. It's kind of, I mean, it's literally Xzeri, Xzeri, concept car. And yeah, it's pretty epic, pretty cool looking car. Then you have the this car isn't necessarily a Ferrari, like spot on. Like, I mean, there's some Ferrari inspiration behind it. It was built by a company that works highly with Ferrari, so they do a lot of builds and a lot of cool things with them. A company called Pininfarina. There's plenty of Ferraris that were built and based off, like, designed with the company Pininfarina, and this car was kind of one of those things that they kind of took inspiration from Ferrari and built it into their own car. It's kind of, a lot of people like to say that it has Ferrari SF90 in there, which I do agree with. There's some hints of that car being in here, but this is highly based off of the Pininfarina Battista, which is pretty much just the Pininfarina Ferrari. So it sits right here along with the rest of them. Very cool car. And then second floor, we have the GT4 Lusso slash FF kind of mix here. This is the Grotty GTS, the Ferrari California T. Then you have the Ferrari F40, which I blacked out with the red interior. Then the Ferrari Testarossa, silver with red interior. The GTO, this is a 250 GT, or no, wait, hold on, I'm sorry, my bad. I think this is the 250 GT, and then this one's just a standard, like, non-track version of the 250 GT, the soft, or, well, yeah, soft drop top, I believe. And then this one is the 250 GTO, the older, more classic version of the car. There's like a slight difference in the names. I think those ones are GTs, and then this is a GTO. But I get them mixed up sometimes. But yeah. And I built it to look just like the real life variants of the car as well. All of these are highly inspired off of real life versions. Some of them have custom colors like that the California T right there. Then the final floor and the final area of my entire vehicle collection on Grand Theft Auto 5. This video has been years in the making. I've done little things here and there to kind of show off a bunch of my cars, but I don't think I've actually gone through every single vehicle I own, which is kind of insane. But to finish it off, we have the Rimac Concept 1 electric hypercar, aka the Cyclone. The Koenigsegg, and I know some people are going to hate me for this, but I promise you I am right, not to be an asshole. But this is a Koenigsegg Ccx, and, well, the CCX, CCR, whatever you want to call it, mixed with, it's got some Lamborghini taillights. But those three actual little triangular shapes that they have in the taillights are to represent the three circles, circular taillights on the CCX. Yeah, I actually put Agera on the plane, on the license plate, but I was wrong, and I believed, just like everybody else for the longest time, that this was an Agera. And then when this one came in, I thought this was the Regera. But, honestly, this one's more like the Agera, and this one's the CCX. You can also tell by how flat the front end is, also. The older Koenigsegg's were more flat like that, like they were rounded in that way, while the Agera had the sharper headlights. It still had a similar design to it. But yeah, no, these cars are still very, very cool, very unique. Um, I based that one off of a color that I seen an Agera in, and then I kind of based this one off of a color that I seen a Regera in. And although I changed my mind on what I believe these are, and although they may have inspiration from the other versions of the cars, um, I decided not to change them just to kind of keep it pretty cool looking. But yeah, and you can also tell by the taillights too. There you go. It's also epic. This car, another very cool car, and a lot of people try to throw Ferrari all over this thing for the longest time. There may be a little bit of inspiration in Ferrari in here, but I also promise you that this one is majorly designed and was meant to be perceived as a Pagani Huayra. And I mean, it's called the Pegasus Osiris in the game, so yeah. It's a pretty cool car. I threw a nice, I call this like the honey orange color on there. I think it looks very, very beautiful. Then this thing, very pale yellow compared to that orangish color next to it. It's really unique. This car is another concept car. Something that's still in the works and supposedly is releasing this year at some point, although I doubt it. But they say it's coming out, and I want to give them the benefit of the doubt because it's my home state that's releasing a hypercar that is supposed to be going over 300 miles an hour. In the state of Texas, there's a company called Hennessy, and located pretty close to Fort Worth and Dallas, Texas. John Hennessy, a man who's worked most of his life working on cars and building stuff to make cars faster, pretty much. He's just built stuff to make it go faster. This car is the successor to the Hennessy Venom GT. This is the Hennessy Venom F5 concept car, and supposedly being produced right now. They already have like one of them produced that actually works and everything, of course. But yeah, this is the car right here, pretty much. All-American hypercar. And possibly the first American hypercar to go over 300 miles an hour. Then we have the... Now, if you guys know what the Gumpert Apollo company is, well, Gumpert, Apollo was another company that had worked with Gumpert, so the actual guy Gumpert, and his vehicle company to build a project car that would essentially become a new top-end supercar. And the Gumpert Apollo, the original version of the vehicle, failed, and they tried to work on a better version of it and released it out, and it burnt down, and there was a bunch of issues, a bunch of technical issues. So the company Apollo decided to split, and they went on to do their own thing, and have now released a new car. Well, they'd released a car right after leaving Gumpert. They became Apollo, and they released the Apollo Aero. This car right here is the Apollo Aero. There's another car out there that has a few sharper ends and shares some similarities with this car, the newest one, which I would love if they'd actually bring it in the game, because it'd be another really cool car to have in here. The Apollo Aero IE, or the Apollo IE is really what a lot of people call it, but yeah, this is the Apollo Aero. Very insane, wide and thick hypercar. It's crazy. Then the car that just seems to keep on catching eyes, but still hasn't come out after like 2012 was when the car was initially revealed. The standard body was pretty similar to this one. A few curves and things were different. It was a little sharp originally, and it actually kind of suited. It kind of looked like the Apollo IE actually, but the the car kind of got more curves, and they took away from the sharpness, and they kind of did a little extra. They curved more of the back and took off some stuff. But this car right here, this is the current version. This is what it currently looks like in real life, and what supposedly the 3,000 horsepower mega car is what they're calling it. It's supposed to look like. It is the Devil 16, DEVEL, and then 16, and it is a Middle Eastern, what they call hypercar, but like mega car is the other term for it, because it's supposedly got like the most horsepower from a stock vehicle ever. But I don't really know if it's ever going to actually be released. They haven't really said anything about its release date, but it's been shown off several times, and nobody knows if the car's actually going to be built. But I mean, its origin is Dubai, and you know, they got a lot of money out there, so who knows, maybe they're just trying to make it even more powerful or work on it even better. But yeah, that's the final car. That is everything I own in Grand Theft Auto 5. We have been through so many garages. We've gone from all the way up here. We did the bunker, the arcade, the facility. Came down, we did these 3 houses, and then the 4th house inside of the same building. Then 5, all the way down to the airport. 6 locations to show off vehicles. 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 locations with vehicles that I own. 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21. 21 total locations with vehicles, meaning aircraft, land, you know, all of that stuff. 21 different locations. I've also showed off my Pegasus vehicles. And then, of course, I have a yacht as well. But it's kind of a ghetto vehicle because you can't really use it. But, you know, it's got the helicopters and stuff on it too. And all of the jet skis and stuff. But everybody already knows what that looks like. So, yeah, guys. Thank you guys for watching the stream. I really hope those of you who see all of this later, and if you make it this far, bless your soul, dude. You're crazy, like, to watch this entire thing. There's some people out there that like it, but I don't know about all that. It was really, really fun showing you guys my entire collection. Sorry about all the yawning. I'm kind of just still waking up for some reason. But yeah, this collection tour was very well needed. Hopefully, you know, you guys will get to see this later on, and maybe I'll get to come back and look at this at one point and remember this, you know, once next generation comes around, and realize that so much has been added and everything's coming along crazily. I do enjoy this a lot. And I'm excited for GTA's future, and you know, maybe another map, maybe more being added onto this world. And if I could keep my cars and go on with GT Online the way it is, I could deal with oppressors and flying vehicles and the DLCs and the missions and stuff like that. If they could just continue to build off of that and do more with the game, build more maps onto this map so that we have more to explore. I go to car meets and stuff on this game quite often, and I think that it'd be really, really epic to actually do some more content on cruises and stuff like that and car stuff. I want to do more. I want to get back on this channel. I plan on doing so much more with this channel here soon. I'm planning on changing the name. For those of you who don't know already, my name is Devin. And I'm probably going to change my username to something along the lines of my real life name and just kind of run off of that. But yeah, it was really cool. I appreciate you guys. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace out, guys.